All right, welcome to another lesson of flip teaching. This is 5-3, adding and subtracting fractions. When you're simplifying with like denominators, this is very simple. All you do is add or subtract the numerators. All right. You're going to leave the denominators alone, which means keep the same denominators. And finally, simplify the final answer. So for the first example, let's look at 3/8 plus 1/8. Okay. Again, you find out that the denominator is 8, so you leave it the same. And you add 3 plus 1 is 4. And looking at 4/8, you know you can simplify that to 1/2. And that is your final answer, 1/2. Okay, example 2, let's make a subtraction problem. How about 5/6 minus 1/6? Again, if your denominator is the same, keep it. All right, 5 minus 1 is 4. And then you should look at that. Since they're both even, you know you can divide by 2. Final answer is 2/3. So really, if you see a problem where you're adding or subtracting fractions and the denominators are already the same, you're in good business. All you have to do is just add or subtract the numerator and simplify. Okay. Oh, it's trivia day. Did you know the lion used in the original MGM movie logo killed its trainer and 2 assistants the day after the logo was filmed? Man, that's one mean lion. Simplifying with unlike denominators. Okay, this is a little bit different. Now the denominator is different. What you need to do is find a common denominator. Okay, that's the key. If you don't do that, you can't go any further. Obviously, always use the order of operations to simplify, and simplify the final answer. So for our first example, let's look at fraction 1/4 plus 1/3. Okay. You can see right away our denominators are not the same. So to simplify that, we need to find a common denominator. Where you'll always go right is if you just multiply them together. 4 times 3 is 12. Make that your common denominator. Sometimes you can find the least common denominator, which is a little easier because you don't have to simplify as much. But you can see that this, we want to make it 12. Okay, and again, it's plus. So what do I do to this 4 to make 12? Well, multiply by 3. If you multiply the bottom by 3, you've got to multiply the top by 3. So 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, 1/3. We want to make the numerator 12, so the denominator 12, sorry. So it's 3 times 4. 1 times 4. That makes it 4. Okay, pretty simple here. Go ahead and just add now. We have the denominators the same. That equals 7/12. All right, so again, you have to change the denominators to make it into the same common denominator, and then go ahead and change the numerators by multiplying. Okay, another example real quick. How about 5/6 minus 1/2? 5/6 minus 1/2. Okay. So again, we need to change to have a common denominator. So sometimes you're going to see in this case, the best denominator to use is this 6, because we can do something very simply with the 1/2 to make it out of 6. Okay, so let's leave 5/6 the same. Subtract. What do we do to this 2 to make it a 6? Well, multiply by 3, multiply by 3. So you're having 5/6 minus 3/6. Okay, which equals 2/6. And to reduce that one, we can make it 1/3. Okay, so the key is to make the denominators the same and then simplify. All right, moving on. Another trivia. Did you know that earwax and orange peel contain equal amounts of vitamin C? So the next time that orange seems too sour to you, go ahead and tell your parents that you need a serving of earwax to get your vitamin C. Keep you nice and clear from colds. Adding and subtracting mixed numbers. Okay, mixed number. Okay, that's a combination of a whole number and fractions, so something like 2 1/3, all right? Or how about 1 and 2/7? All right, so the big key is that you need to learn how to write the mixed number as an improper fraction before moving on. This is something I'm sure you've learned how to do already. I'll show you really quickly how to do it. How do I write this 2 1/3? That's a mixed number. How do I write that as an improper fraction? Well, you simply multiply the denominator of 3 times the whole number of 2. So it's really 3 times 2. And then you add the numerator, okay, plus 1. And then you put that all over the top of the denominator of 3. So that equals 6 plus 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1, 7/3. Okay? So you, again, multiply the denominator, 3, times the whole number of 2, add the numerator of 1, and put it all over the original denominator of 3 to make 7/3. Okay, so the first step, change the mixed fraction to an improper fraction. Number 2, rewrite the problem by using a, guessed it, a common denominator, just like we did in the first section. And then use the order of operations to simplify. Now, this is key. A lot of people forget this. Always write the final answer as a mixed number, even though you change it to an improper fraction. If the original problem was given to you in a mixed number, write it as a mixed number. That's a simplified version. Okay, so here we go. Let's try 2 1/3. That was our original one, right? Plus 1 2/5. Okay, how do we do that? Well, we need to rewrite each one as an improper fraction. So we did 3 times 2 plus 1 is 7/3 plus, what's 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2 is 7/5. Okay. Now how do we add those? Well, we need a common denominator. Looks like the common denominator here is 15. So we need to write 2 fractions out of 15. Adding. I always like to set mine up first. What do I do to this 3 to get 15? Well, times 5 times 5. So 7 times 5 is 35. And how about over here? How do I get 15 times 3? Times 3. So we have 21 over 15. Now add those together to get 46 over 15. How do I change that to a mixed number? Well, you simply can do the long division. So it's 46 divided by 15. Goes in there 3 times. The remainder of 1. So the remainder over the divisor will give you 3 and 1/15. Okay, and we'll practice problems like this in class. I want you to try one on your own on the next page, and then we will get out of here. Let's try a subtraction problem. How about 4 1/3 minus 3 7/8? Okay, go ahead and just pause and try it on your own. Okay, it should be unpaused by now, and I will go through the steps with you. So change them to a mixed number. 4 times 3 plus 1 is 13/3 minus 8 times 3 is 24 plus 7, 31/8. Okay, now I need a common denominator. Looks like I can make it, well, 3 times 8 is our best bet here. So I'm going to write them both out of 24. Out of 24. And what do I do to 3 to get 24? Well, I multiply it by 8. Multiply by 8. 13 times 8. I'm just going to do it over here because I don't know it in my head. 104. So it's 104 over 24 minus times 3. 31 times 3, I can do that in my head, is 93. Now, we've got it where we want it. 104 minus 93 is 11 over 24. Is that as reduced as possible? It sure is. All right. So we'll practice problems like this in class, and good luck. See you in class.